Good afternoon, it's Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and this is my One Piece Banlist discussion. This is actually my first Banlist prediction video, I'm not gonna lie. Last time we had a Banlist video, it just came out, and it kind of surprised all of us, and then they revoked it. So, who the fuck knows what this Banlist is gonna be? Apparently, it's gonna be right at the end of Worlds, once the World Tournament completes next week, actually. We're going to get a ban list, which is absolutely hype and absolutely terrifying. So this is my prediction video slash what I want on the ban list. It's hard to really say for One Piece because there's such a weird ban list. This is going to be like the third or fourth one. So honestly, who knows? I would say there's a lot of cards in OPO 6 that are going to be a huge issue going forward. But we in a TCG still don't get those cards until March 15th. So I don't know if Konami or Bandai, my bad, if Bandai would ban these OPO 6 cards or limit these OPO 6 cards when an entire marketplace hasn't even had a chance to buy these cards yet. I know they did that for Kapaji and OPO 3 back when Nami became one of the best decks in the game, but Kapaji was like a common. And they had Kabaji for like 2 or 3 formats, I think. So I'm not sure if they're going to actually hit any OPO 6 cards. I am going to mention some OPO 6 cards which probably should be hit, but we haven't even got them yet. So to say they get hit is kind of premature, honestly. Like, we all know these cards are going to be a problem, but we haven't even got a chance to play with them yet. So I don't know if they should be hit or not. It's kind of a 50-50. One hand says, yes, I want these cards to get hit because they're really bad for the health of the game. But the other hand, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like these cards are strong, and we should have a chance to play with these cards. We should just have OCG play with them, and then it comes to us, and it's like, sorry, you already banned them. That doesn't work. That's not how this game works. Like, every new set is going to suck because the previous ban list is going to hit cards we haven't even got yet. So this is my prediction video. Let's just get straight into it. So first things first, do I think 8-drop Gecko Moria will be hit? No. Do I think it should be hit? Yes. So if you don't know, 8-drop Gecko Moria is the newest black card coming out at OPO 6. It is an 8-cost, 9,000 attack monster. And pure black basically has 2 really stupid effects. On play, it reborns 2 monsters, a 4 cost or less, and then a 2 cost or less, which is really, really oppressive for an 8-drop. And it's really, really oppressive, especially in decks like Sakazuki and Moria and Perona. All 3 of those decks will be abusing this card heavily, and they'll be able to not only summon 8 cost, 9,000 attack boss monster, but it also will be summoning out stronger units from the grave that'll either be ripping your hand or popping cards on your field, which is absolutely oppressive as hell. So I really do think that he is an issue, but because we still haven't even got him yet in the West, I don't think he's going to get touched. Maybe he'll go to 1, but personally, I just don't think he's going to get touched. The next card that is going to be an issue for black is definitely going to be the new Perona. This is another Gecko Moria card, the 4 cost, 5,000, 2k counter. On play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in hand, this card rips the card out of your opponent's hand. It is really, really oppressive because not only is it just a 2k, so your opponent can just discard and protect themselves, but in a deck like Gecko Moria, who literally on it is like the basically Blue Dolphy, but from graveyard instead of deck, he can just summon these free Peronas that he mailed for free and just rip cards out of your hand every turn, which is pretty impressive. So, honestly, I think this card's just a little overtuned, but again, I don't think Konami's going to touch it. Gecko Moria just came out at OPO 6. They just are getting it to OPO 7. And also, we still haven't got the card yet, so I think this card's fine, and it's still going to be a 3 or 4. It's 4 there. My bad. Next card we gotta talk about is an actual card that is, we're staying with black here. This is actually some OPO 5 cards. These cards I actually do see getting hit, that being Rebecca. Rebecca is a very, very powerful blocker. This card is insane. It is a 4 cost, 0 attack, blocker for black. It's also a, what's it called? Dressrosa card, so it's searchable within Rebecca herself, but Rebecca isn't meta because she can't attack. That's a whole other story, but this card's insane in Blue-Black Sakazuki, and this card is also insane in every black deck because it has the ability on play as a blocker. It adds a 3 or less cost character, black, I think it's a 7 or less character, from your grave to your hand, and then it plays a 3 cost or less from hand. So you can add anything from grave, basically, add to hand, and then you're going to play anything from hand that's 3 or less. And there's some really goofy combos they do with Hina. I believe Hina's the card. It's the 3 cost, 5,000, no counter, vanilla that says, hey, on play, give -4 cost to a unit. Yeah, the fact that they can just keep discarding this card or keep building this card and then bringing it back with their blocker to then -4 cost to a character and then blow up your character with like a Rob Lucci is very impressive. I definitely think Rebecca, because the card came out OP05 and it's just a very, very powerful card, I definitely think it can be hit. So to me, I don't think they're going to ban the card. I think it's definitely going to go to 1, make it a less sacky-ish, I guess. I really don't know. I can see some arguments putting it to 2, but I don't think Bandai has actually ever limited a card to 2. They've only ever banned a card or put it to 1. So I really don't know what they're going to do. Personally, I think it's going to go to 1. I think the card's really, really strong. It's still going to see all the play at 1. It just means they can't just repeatedly do it over and over again. They're going to have to play cards like Man Cherry or other things. So that's my opinion there. The next card for black that I think has a really big issue, well, it's debatably an issue. I definitely heard some community talk about Ice Age. So if you don't know, Ice Age is a pretty insane card. Basically, it's a 1 cost that says, hey, give -5 cost to a character. It's a 1 cost event card. It's just really, really powerful. It has a decent trigger too. And it's just really good at removing 10 drops. It makes it really, really easy to get rid of boss sponsors for Blue-Black Sakazuki in general and other black decks in general. Personally, I think the card's fine. It has no counter. It doesn't protect you. And yes, it does removal, but you need to have other cards to back it up. So personally, I think Ice Age is going to stay at 4. This is not a black card necessarily, but it's definitely played only in blue-black, that being Houndblaze. Houndblaze is our first blue card we gotta talk about, but it's really just a black card disguising itself as blue. This card is absolutely insane. It bottom decks a 2 or less character, which means, hey, if you get any character your opponent controls to 2, this card not only bottom decks them, but also gives 3k to a unit or leader, which is just absolutely insane. So it pays for itself, and it bottom decks a card, which is absolutely incredible and terrifying. I can definitely see this card either getting banned or put to 1 itself. It is a very, very strong card, and yeah, that's my opinions on that. I think Rob Lucci is fine. He's the 4 cost new one that we got for CP0. I think he's fine. I know he's very powerful, but he has no counter, and you need other cards to make him good. So I think he's fine at what he is at 4. That is it for all the black cards. Let's talk about yellow now, because yellow is also a very oppressive color in this format. First things first, 10-drop Big Mom. Does 10-drop Big Mom need to be banned? I don't know. I think I can definitely see the argument for one copy of 10-drop Big Mom. The biggest issue I have with banning her is that only 3 current leaders can actually play this card. And only one of those, out of those 3 leaders, is actually meta viable, that being Katakuri. 10-drop Big Mom basically says, hey, if your leader is a Big Mom pirate, on play, this card gains you a life and rips opponent's life away. It's a very powerful card. It's a 10 cost, yellow, 12,000 attack monster, and it's very impressive with multiples, and it's a very sacky card. Now, do I think they should hit it? Probably-ish. I don't know. It's kind of debatable. I kind of wanted to stay, but maybe we should hit it to at least 1. I think 1 copy would be fine. It is a very powerful boss monster. Not to mention, Yellow is getting a replacement for this card in the form of Ace. If you don't know, Ace is the newest yellow 10 drop that we're getting in OPO 7 that not only gains you a life but also has Rush, which is all kinds of stupid. But I personally do think that if Big Mom or Category had basically 8 copies of a 10 drop that gains life, there might be an issue there. So I can definitely see Big Mom being banned just to push the Ace, the new Ace 10 drop into more decks. But honestly, that 10 drop's just as insane as the Big Mom. So I really don't know. I guess to push sales will hit Big Mom, but I don't know. I think that Ace basically replaces it by the time we get to OPO 7. Now, other cards we need to talk about in yellow. I don't think they're going to hit these cards, but we still need to talk about them. Nami. This card's an issue. I don't care what anyone says. This card is cracked. It's a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter that has 2 broken effects. On play, it gives banish to a character or leader. That's already stupid in yellow-green Yamato that comes out OPO 6, basically saying, hey, my double attacking leader is going to be able to have banish as well. So it's basically the green Yamato character, which is already pretty busted as a 5-cost. So now the fact you can just give that to your leader is absolutely oppressive as hell. Not to mention, it's a 1k counter, and if you trigger it off life, it's a Thunderbolt. It kills a 5 or less character. Doesn't matter if it's rested or not, which is absolutely oppressive as hell. I do think Bandai needs to ban this card. I think this card is way overtuned. I think it's going to be Saki as a one-of. And yeah, this card should be banned. Do I think they're going to ban it? Probably not, because we still have not gotten this card in OPO 6. So it's here to stay, even though this is one of the only cards I would say that's coming out that I wish was banned before we got it, because this card is absolutely oppressive as fuck. Next card. This is an older card we got, I believe, in OPO 4, and that being our Cabone Bane Beige. Does this card need to be banned? Probably. This card's sacky as hell. It's a trigger. It's a 2k counter. 3 costs, 4,000 attack monster. And I might be getting the stats on his attack wrong. I forgot how much he is. But basically, that doesn't matter. He never actually played this card. The only thing that matters about him is that, hey, if you hit him off life, you get to choose a character your opponent controls or leader, and they cannot declare an attack for the rest of the turn. Very oppressive, especially when you're trying to swing for game, because you can literally be like, nope, you can't swing at me anymore. And you can literally win the game because their last life was this card, which is absolutely oppressive as hell. You can't really play around it. It's a really obnoxious trigger. Unlike the trigger blockers, yeah, that's one thing. You can use removal or push through them to win the game. You can't push through a continuous event that says, hey, your main boss monster can't attack anymore. It's a very oppressive. I definitely think this card should be banned. Will they ban it? Possibly. I think this is one of the first yellow cards that will be banned. We've had it for a while now. I think it should go. Next, we are talking about another yellow card. This is going to be Reject Dial. This card is crazy. It has 2 effects. You get to choose which one. It's either a yellow version of 3,000 Worlds, where it basically KOs a 5 or less character, or if your opponent has 1 or less life, you rip the last life away, and you basically lose a life. So you both just choose to lose a life, which is absolutely oppressive, especially when you're going for game. For a 4 cost that just rips your opponent's last life that they're protecting, that is very oppressive. That's basically the 7 Dawn return effect of Kaido in a 4 cost counter, and a 4 cost card that is an event that removes shit. Not to mention, has a pretty good trigger too. Draw 1. This card is everything you want in a card, and it's crazy. Do I think they're going to hit it? Probably not. It's OPO 6. So, yeah, that's, I believe, everything I have when it comes to yellow and black. Let's talk about the other colors. They're less auto-tuned. They have less issues in their color spam. So, I really don't know what to discuss from here. So, does red need anything hit? Not really, which is kind of crazy how oppressive red is. Red hasn't really gotten any new cards that push it over the ceiling or do anything unfair. The whole gimmick of red is rushing, and they really haven't got any new cards that kind of break red in general. So I think red as a color doesn't need any hits. Funny enough, which is crazy because you said that 2 sets ago, we were banning every Whitebeard card. But that's a whole other story. Next, we got to talk about green. Does green need any hits? No, I don't think so. We're just actually finally getting good green cards coming out in this set, making green a viable color in OPO 6. So I'm actually happy for green. Green was actually the worst color up to this set. So I'm glad the green Uta structure deck and Perona and the new Hody Jones cards are actually going to push green somewhere in the meta. Of course, Yamato too, but there you go. Let's see. Purple. Does purple need to get hit by anything? I can't think of an impressive purple card. I think the 10-drop Luffy that skips a turn. That card's pretty impressive. Do I think it needs to be hit? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Only like 2 decks actually play it. And that being red, purple Luffy and purple Luffy. They don't really play it that often in purple Luffy itself, so it's mostly just red, purple Luffy. And that's kind of like their boss monster. I don't know. Maybe it should be hit. It does skip a turn, which is pretty crazy. And in that deck in particular, they rank up Dawn really, really quick afterwards. So, could it get hit? Yeah, I would like it to go to 1, but will they hit it? Probably not. And then I think that's every color. Blue, there's arguments for Red Rock and 3000 Worlds, but I honestly don't think they're going to touch those cards. I think those cards are actually pretty balanced. They require 4 Dawn or 6 Dawn in order to remove cards. That's a lot of a commitment. I think those cards are actually pretty balanced and fair. I don't think there's any other blue cards that are overtuned. The 10-drop card that draws 4 is pretty good, but every color has a 10-drop that's oppressive now. So I honestly think that card's fine. I think the only blue card that will really have an issue is Houndblades, which we already went over. And I do think that card's probably going to get banned. So I think that's it. I don't think there's any other colors we missed. Hope you all enjoy. You all tell me in the comments. And there's a card that's really oppressive that I'm just forgetting about. And you all have a good one. Bye-bye.